Commander Lysira Vielle of the Global Defense Alliance stood at the observation deck of Orbital Station Aurelius, her silver-streaked auburn hair pulled back in a severe knot. The massive vessel that had appeared in Earth's orbit 3 days ago remained motionless, its obsidian surface absorbing light rather than reflecting it. A perfect sphere, 20 kilometers in diameter, marred only by a single spiraling groove that wound from pole to pole. "Any response to our hails?" she asked her communications officer, Lieutenant Cadmos Routh. "None, Commander. They maintain total silence," he replied, dark eyes fixed on his holographic display. Lysira frowned. Humanity had expanded across the solar system over the past century, establishing colonies on Mars, Europa, and Ganymede. They'd encountered no intelligent alien life, despite numerous exploration missions to nearby star systems. Yet here was undeniable proof they weren't alone. Dr. Aloan Maraska, the Alliance's foremost xenoarchaeologist, approached Lysira with a troubled expression. "Commander, I've been analyzing the data. The spiral pattern matches exactly with artifacts discovered in the Mariana Trench excavation of 2097. The precursor site?" Lysira turned sharply. "You're suggesting a connection?" "Not just a connection." Aloan's voice dropped. "The artifacts we found were dated to approximately 10,000 BCE. We always assumed they were left by visitors who departed. But what if they weren't visitors at all?" Before Lysira could respond, alarms blared across the station. Lieutenant Routh's hands flew across his console. "Commander! The vessel is broadcasting. It's everywhere. Every frequency. Every device on Earth and in orbit." A voice filled the command center, impossibly deep, each syllable resonating at multiple frequencies simultaneously. "Humans of Earth, we have returned for what is ours. 12,000 years ago, our exploratory vessel, the Lumina Aeternis, was lost within your world's depths. Our analysis indicates you have discovered and dismantled it. You will return all components immediately." The message repeated in every human language sequentially. "Lumina Aeternis," whispered Dr. Maraska. "The abyssal sphere, the centerpiece of the Mariana excavation." "Where is it now?" demanded Lysira. "Reverse engineered. Components dispersed to research facilities worldwide." Aloan's face paled. "The quantum core was the foundation of our gravity manipulation technology. It's in everything from city levitation systems to interplanetary ships." Lysira turned to her executive officer, Ravid Kasparian. "Contact the Alliance Council. We need an emergency session." "Commander," Lieutenant Routh interrupted, "they're sending coordinates. Thousands of them. Worldwide." On the main display, red dots appeared across a global map, each marking the location of a component from a vessel that had crashed on Earth 12 millennia ago when humans were just beginning to form agricultural settlements. "They know exactly where everything is," murmured Lysira. "How is that possible?" The final message from the alien vessel sent ice through her veins. "You have 72 hours to comply. Failure will result in the retrieval of our property by force." The Alliance Council chamber in New Geneva hummed with tension. Representatives from Earth's 7 unified regions and the colonial territories beyond sat in tiered semicircles facing the central podium where Admiral Oren Talmai, head of the Global Defense Alliance, stood grim-faced. "The alien vessel has deployed smaller craft," he announced. "They're hovering over major cities worldwide. No hostile action yet, but their message remains unchanged. We have less than 40 hours remaining." Counselor Briseis Vaughn of the North, American Coalition, slammed her fist on the desk. "This is absurd! They abandon technology on our planet for 12,000 years, then demand its immediate return, technology we've built our civilization upon?" "Their claim of ownership is valid under interstellar law," countered Counselor Mikos Raji from the Martian colonies, his holographic form flickering slightly. "If we aspire to join the galactic community—" "What community?" interrupted Vaughn. This is our first contact. Lysira watched from her position beside Dr. Maraska. The xenoarchaeologist had been analyzing data non-stop since the aliens' arrival, piecing together information from the Mariana excavation with new scans of the alien vessel. Dr. Maraska has critical information, Admiral Talmai announced. Doctor? Elawan approached the central podium, her movements betraying exhaustion. The holographic display behind her activated, showing the spiraling pattern from the alien ship alongside similar markings from ancient artifacts. The Lumina Eternus wasn't just any vessel, she began. Based on energy signatures and component integration, we believe it was a seed ship designed to establish a colony. When it crashed in our ocean 12,000 years ago, the crew likely perished. But the ship's quantum core continued functioning, emitting subtle radiation that accelerated human cognitive development. Murmurs swept through the chamber. "Are you suggesting," asked Counselor Idris Noor of the African Alliance, "that human civilization was jump-started by alien technology?" "Not just jump-started," Elowen replied. "The radiation altered our neurological patterns, enhanced our capacity for abstract thought, mathematics, and technological innovation. Without it, we might still be hunter-gatherers." Lysira stepped forward. "There's more. The quantum core embedded itself in our planet's electromagnetic field. Our gravity manipulation technology works because it resonates with patterns already present in Earth's core. If we remove these components, our cities will fall from the sky," completed Admiral Talmai. "Our ships will lose propulsion. Colonies will be cut off from supply lines. Billions will die." Silence gripped the chamber. "So our options are global catastrophe or alien invasion," summarized Counselor Vaughn bleakly. A junior officer rushed into the chamber, whispering urgently to Admiral Talmai. His expression hardened. "We've just lost contact with the lunar outpost," he announced. "Preliminary readings show quantum fluctuations consistent with a localized space-time distortion. The main screen switched to a live feed from Earth's moon. Where the Tranquility Base complex had stood for decades, there was now only a perfect hemispherical crater, its edges impossibly smooth. They're showing us what they can do," Lysira realized aloud. "And what they've done before," added Elowen softly. "The Mariana Trench wasn't formed naturally. It was created when they retrieved part of their ship 12,000 years ago." The implications settled heavily across the council chamber. Humanity wasn't just facing technologically superior visitors, they were confronting the very beings who had inadvertently shaped human evolution, returning to claim what was theirs. The citadel of science in what was once called Switzerland housed the largest concentration of recovered alien components. Professor Iskander Rykov led Lysira and a small team through security checkpoints to the quantum dynamics laboratory where the original control matrix of the Lumina Eternus had been studied for decades. "We never understood its true purpose," explained Iskander, his weathered face illuminated by the softly pulsing azure light emanating from the alien artifact. The matrix, a crystalline latticework suspended in a containment field, seemed to shift between states of matter as they watched. "We thought it was a navigation system." "It's far more than that," said Elowen, consulting her data pad. "It's a quantum entanglement node. It links to every other component of the original vessel, regardless of distance." Lysira studied the artifact. "If they're all connected, why don't the aliens simply recall their technology? Why demand we gather it for them?" A new voice answered, from the doorway. "Because they can't. Not without destroying your world." They turned to see a tall figure in an Alliance uniform, Colonel Nix Asteros, head of Special Operations Division. Few knew that Nix also commanded Project Oracle, the POT's classified initiative to prepare humanity for extraterrestrial contact. "The quantum entanglement works on harmonic resonance," Nix explained, approaching the containment field. "Mass retrieval would create a feedback loop that would tear apart Earth's electromagnetic field. They're being cautious, or merciful," suggested Elowen. Either way, Lysira said, we need options besides surrender or annihilation. Colonel Asteros nodded grimly. That's why I've brought this. He removed a small device from his uniform pocket, a seamless metallic cylinder inscribed with symbols matching those on the alien vessel. Iskander gasped. Is that? The Oracle Core. Recovered from an alien crash site in Antarctica in 2079, kept separate from all other artifacts. Nix's expression was unreadable. It contains the complete historical and technical database of the civilization we now face. You've had this for decades? Lysira's voice was dangerously quiet. While we scrambled for answers? Need to know. Bases, Commander. Until today, you didn't need to know. The tension was broken by a sudden alert from Lysira's communication device. Lieutenant Routh's voice came through, tense and hurried. Commander, the alien vessel is moving. It's taking up position directly above the Pacific Ocean. Ilawan paled. The Mariana Trench. They're going to retrieve what remains there. Evacuation status? Demanded Lysira. Coastal populations in the danger zone are being moved inland, but there are still millions in potential impact areas if they create another space-time distortion. Colonel Asteros activated the Oracle Core. It hummed to life, projecting a holographic interface. According to this, they're not going to wait much longer. The beings we're dealing with, the Voidwalkers, consider their technology sacred. Each component contains genetic material from their ancestors. Their technology is biological? Asked Iskander, fascinated despite the crisis. Techno-organic, corrected Nix. And there's something else. The Lumina Aeternis wasn't just any seed ship. It was carrying their species' final generation. The Voidwalkers were dying out 12,000 years ago. This was their last hope for survival. The implications settled over the group like a physical weight. We didn't just find their technology, Lysira realized. We found their children. The quantum matrix pulsed brighter, as if responding to her words. Through the laboratory windows, they could see the sky darkening unnaturally as the alien vessel began its operation over the Pacific. If they create a distortion that large, began Ilawan, tectonic. Destabilization, tsunamis, millions dead, finished Iskander grimly. There has to be another way, Lysira insisted, turning to the Oracle Core. If their technology is connected to them biologically, can we communicate through it? Nix's eyes widened. Theoretically, yes, but the risk is less than doing nothing. Lysira cut him off, reaching toward the quantum matrix. How do we establish contact? The interior of the Alliance stealth shuttle was cramped with equipment hastily assembled from the Citadel. At its center stood the quantum matrix, now connected to the Oracle Core through an improvised interface designed by Professor Rykov. Lysira, Ilawan, and Colonel Asteros sped toward the coordinates provided by the alien vessel, now hovering 20 kilometers above the Pacific Ocean. Connection integrity at 63%, reported Iskander through their comms. He had remained at the Citadel to coordinate with other research facilities worldwide. Remember, you'll have microseconds to transmit once you breach their outer field. Lysira studied the alien vessel through the shuttle's view screen. Smaller craft, each the size of a terrestrial battleship, orbited the main sphere like electrons around a nucleus. Stealth systems holding, Nix confirmed, piloting the shuttle closer. They haven't detected us yet. Or they don't consider us a threat, countered Ilawan, monitoring the quantum matrix. Its pulsing had accelerated as they approached the alien vessel, the crystalline structure shifting and reforming with increasing speed. Below them, the ocean's surface had begun to display unnatural patterns, concentric circles expanding outward from a central point directly beneath the alien ship. Preliminary distortion effects. We're running out of time, Lysira said. Let's proceed with transmission. Ilawan positioned herself at the interface terminal. The Oracle Core provided basic translation protocols. I'm routing them through the quantum matrix to establish resonance with their communication systems. And if it doesn't work? Asked Nix. Then we'll have given them a perfect targeting beacon, Elowen replied matter-of-factly. Beginning transmission! The quantum matrix flared brilliantly, energy coursing through the improvised connections. The shuttle's systems fluctuated wildly as power was diverted to the transmission. Outer field penetrated, reported Elowen. Transmitting negotiation package now. The package contained Earth's proposal, a phased return of the most non-essential components over 5 years, with critical infrastructure components to be replaced by human-designed alternatives. It included comprehensive data on how deeply integrated the alien technology had become with human civilization. Most importantly, it contained visual evidence of how the quantum radiation had affected human development, a time-lapse of technological and cultural evolution across 12 millennia. Seconds stretched into minutes with no response. The distortion effects on the ocean's surface intensified. It didn't work, Nix concluded grimly. We should retreat and prepare alternative. The shuttle lurched violently as an unseen force caught it. Through the view screen, they watched one of the smaller alien craft approach, a beam of coherent energy extending from its surface to envelop their shuttle. Tractor beam, whispered Elowen, excitement overriding fear. They're bringing us in. The shuttle's systems went dark as they were pulled toward the massive alien sphere. When power returned, they found themselves in a cavernous docking bay, their shuttle dwarfed by the scale of their surroundings. Atmosphere readings compatible with human physiology, reported Nix, checking instruments. Gravity slightly lower than Earth standard. They're accommodating us, observed Lysira. That's promising. The shuttle's external sensors detected movement. A doorway had appeared in the previously seamless wall of the docking bay, and through it emerged 3 figures. The Voidwalkers stood nearly 3 meters tall, their bodies covered in what appeared to be flowing liquid metal that continuously reshaped itself. Where heads should be, there were only swirling vortices of energy that pulsed in patterns reminiscent of the quantum matrix. Ready for first contact? Asked Lysira, her voice steadier than she felt. For 12,000 years, replied Elowen, softly. As they prepared to disembark, the quantum matrix in their shuttle pulsed once more, and then reshaped itself into a perfect replica of the swirling patterns displayed by the waiting aliens. The chamber within the alien vessel defied human architectural understanding. Surfaces flowed into one another without seams, while the walls themselves seemed to phase between solid matter and energy states. At the center, a structure identical to the quantum matrix they had brought, but vastly larger, dominated the space. Communication proved less difficult than anticipated. The Voidwalkers projected thoughts directly into the humans' minds, while the Oracle Core translated their responses into patterns the aliens could comprehend. Your species has integrated our sacred heritage into your civilization's foundation. The tallest Voidwalker, who identified itself as Nexus Prime, conveyed. This is unprecedented. Lysira stood before the towering being, shoulders squared. We didn't know. We found technology beyond our understanding and sought to learn from it. And in doing so, you became something new, observed another Voidwalker, designated Mnemosony. Your neural patterns carry our ancestral echoes. You are not merely humans anymore. Elowen stepped forward. The quantum radiation from your ship altered our development. We evolved alongside your technology. The third Voidwalker, called Epocha, moved closer to the humans, its liquid metal form rippling. Our seed ship carried the last generation of our kind. When it crashed on your world, we believed all was lost. We retreated to rebuild, to prepare another attempt at survival. Why return now? Asked Nix. After 12 millennia? Time passes. Differently in the void between stars, explained Nexus Prime. For us, the crash occurred merely 17 cycles ago. We came as soon as we could. Understanding dawned on Lysira. You're not here just for your technology. You're here for your descendants. The central quantum matrix pulsed brightly in apparent confirmation. The genetic material in the seed ship was designed to create a new generation of voidwalkers, said Menemozani. Instead, it influenced your species. You carry elements of our genetic code now, altered but recognizable. Alawan's scientific mind raced with implications. A form of unintentional hybridization. Your technology didn't just teach us, it changed us. And now we face an unprecedented dilemma, continued Nexus Prime. To reclaim our technology would destroy what you have become, yet to leave it is to abandon our sacred heritage. Lysira sensed the opportunity. Perhaps there's another solution, a partnership. The proposal formed rapidly between them. Earth would establish dedicated research facilities where Voidwalker representatives would work alongside human scientists. The most critical components would remain integrated in human infrastructure, but under joint supervision. In exchange, the Voidwalkers would share their knowledge, helping humanity advance beyond dependence on the salvaged technology. Most significantly, the Voidwalkers would study the hybridization effect, how their genetic influence had manifested in human development. You offer to share what was once solely ours, observed Epica, its form shifting contemplatively. We offer to acknowledge that we have become connected, countered Lysira. Neither fully human nor Voidwalker, but something new, something that might preserve both our legacies. The three Voidwalkers communicated among themselves in patterns too complex for the Oracle core to translate. Finally, Nexus Prime approached the humans. 12 millennia ago, we sought to ensure our species' survival through direct means, it conveyed. Instead, we found it indirectly, through you. The universe works in patterns beyond even our understanding. The agreement was sealed not with documents, but with a synchronization of the quantum matrix aboard the alien vessel with its counterparts integrated throughout human civilization. The effect was immediate and spectacular. Around the globe, technology powered by the alien components briefly surged with new energy before stabilizing at higher efficiency levels. 2 months later, at the newly established Harmony Institute, in the Himalayan mountains, Lysira stood beside Nexus Prime, watching human and Voidwalker scientists work side by side. Your people called our arrival an invasion, observed the alien being. Instead, it became a reunion of separated family. Family that never knew they were related, added Lysira with a smile. Though I'm still getting used to having 12,000-year-old cousins from another star system. The universe is vast, replied Nexus Prime, its energy patterns shifting in what Lysira had learned to recognize as amusement. But connection is vaster still. Beyond the Institute's windows, the first prototype of a new vessel took shape, neither human nor Voidwalker in design, but a true hybrid incorporating the best of both civilizations. Its name, emblazoned on the hull in both human language and Voidwalker energy patterns, captured the spirit of their unprecedented alliance, Lumina Continuous, the continuing light. Humanity had not just survived first contact, they had discovered. They had never truly been alone, and the stars now awaited the return of not one, but two intertwined species.